Yeah, but welcome to a new part of the music theory course. In the previous part, we were talking about minor and major scales and how to use them to build our minor and major chords. Now we are going for the spicy chords: suspended, diminished, sixths, sevenths, ninths, elevenths, and thirteeners. Ah, no, they are called thirteenths. To get whatever major scale you want, we are using this list. This shows us the major scales, half and whole tone steps per octave. So if we begin with an E major 7, then we will first start finding the E major scale with the list. If you don't know how to use the list, you can go back to the previous part where we explain this in detail. Here we have the E major scale, built using the list, with the numbers 1 to 13. Now let's take the E major. And now we are adding the 7, a D sharp. And then it sounds like this. But if you write the chord as E7, then you are taking an E major, but with a minor 7. That is transposed one half tone step down from D sharp to D, because it has a minor interval from the 5th. If we want to change this to an E major 9, then we just have to add the number 9, F sharp. This sounds like this. You can also move the F sharp to number 2 instead, which also is a F sharp, if you don't like to break your fingers. If you remove the 7th, it's no longer an E major 9, but an E major add 9, because you're missing the 7th. Now I'm putting the 7th back, but I'm leaving the 9th at number 2. If we write the chord as an E9 instead, then it's just like with the previous E7, that we are taking an E major chord with the 9th and a 7 that is transposed one half tone step down, and is now a D instead of a D sharp. And it has now a minor interval from the 5th, the B. Now let's take an E major 11th instead, which isn't harder than to move the 9th to the 11th. But this chord is really hard to take with one hand without breaking it. So what you can do is to move the 11th A to the 4th in the previous octave, which also is an A. If we write the chord as E11 instead, then it's precisely like the earlier E7 and E9, that we are taking an E major chord with the 11th and a 7 that is transposed a half tone step down from D sharp to D and is now called a dominant 7. Well, a lot of rambling going on here. But now we will continue with an E major 13, just by moving the 11th to 13, which is a C sharp. But once more, to be able to take it with one hand, you will have to move it to the C sharp on number 6 instead. And just like with the E7, E9 and E11, you can transpose the 7th down a half tone step, but then the name of the chord will be E13 instead, with a dominant 7. Let's put in the reverse and take an E6. Then we will take an E major and add a 6th, as is a C sharp. Now let's take a suspended E sus, an E sus that also can be written as E sus4. This chord doesn't have a major or a minor key, but we will follow the major scale. We still have the root key E on the first, and the 5th, B, on the 5th. And like the name sounds, we are adding a 4, an A. Then we have an E sus, also called E sus4. If we move number 4 to number 2, then we will have an E sus2 instead. Now, we will look at the minors list of tone steps and build the E minor scale by using the list. Bam! Did I scare you? We will continue with an E minor 7. Here we have the root key E on number 1 and the minor key G on number 3, and the 5th on number 5, that is a B, and the spicy little tone D on the 7th, that is called minor 7. If we want to take an E minor 9, just add the 9th key. But once again, to be able to take it with one hand, we will move the 9th to the 2nd. And if we remove the 7th key D completely, then we will have an E minor add 9, because we are missing the 7th. I will put the 7 back. Now we will move the 9th to number 11, so that we will get an E minor 11. The 11th can be moved to the A on number 4 instead, which will be easier to take. Now let's take an E minor 13 by moving the 11th to 13, that is a C, or to the C on number 6. Holy moly! And let's put in the reverse to take an E minor 6 instead. You find the number 6 at the root position minus a minor interval, with other words 3 half tone steps to the left, ending up on a C sharp, and not on the minor scale's number 6, as you might believe. Now let's end this with a diminished E. Take an E major again and transpose the 3rd and the 5th 1 half tone step down. Sounds like this. Easy peasy. With the help of the major and minor lists, you can build whatever major or minor scale or chords that you want. The spicy 11ths should have the 9th included, but you're allowed to remove it to make it easier to take. But it's also good if you write it as no 9th. And all of the 13ths is actually an extended version of the 11th. But you're allowed to exclude the 11 here too, by the same reason. But it will be good if you write it as no 11th. And with all of my heart, I would like to thank you for watching. Please subscribe and all the nice things. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye 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 bye.